Well, first, just want to congratulate Southern on a tremendous season. You know, champions, regular season champions in their tournament. Coach Funchess has done a tremendous job. I told him when we shook hands, I actually coached against him when he played at Northeast in '89. I was at Sam Houston State as a men's assistant in that year. So I remembered his name and remembered that he was a really good player. Then when I read up on his bio, I really remembered how good a player he was. But you know, want to congratulate them. Also want to congratulate South Dakota and their fine team. That was a heck of a game that they played. And so I was proud of our first quarter and our third quarter. I thought we really played well. I thought we were pretty clean, pretty crisp, and the one in between is what got me a little upset. The second quarter, I was not very pleased, and I had some different combinations in there, and it probably is as much my fault as anybody's because our chemistry was really affected by that. But you know, I really wanted to give some kids an opportunity to play tonight. And get, you know, for some of those freshmen, Zari and Jessica, that's their first NCAA tournament game, and I'm sure they were a little nervous and a little tight, and so they got it out of the way. Henry T with double-doubles. I thought Jazz was really good running our team. Jordan was her explosive self, and Bree just was really, she was really, I don't know, functional is not the word. She was just really good. I mean, she gets 18, 4 steals, 2 assists. Just really played well for us. She has to fulfill so many, you know, a couple different roles, and so, you know, we'll move on to the next one. You know, congratulations to Clemson, and I thought they played really, really well. I've seen some film on them, so I know what's coming down the pipe, and we'll have one day with this group to get ready. I told T sitting on the bench, I want to get better tomorrow. And this team has fought me on that all year. But I want to get better tomorrow. I not only want to get ready for Clemson, but I want to get better. And so we'll have a good day tomorrow and get ready. I guess they said tip time's 8 o'clock Sunday night. And so, and that's late for all of us. Like that's late for my players. They like to be in bed before that. So, especially our older ones. So, that being said, just really want to say I appreciate our crowd tonight. What a great atmosphere for all the student athletes to play in, and it was really special. You know, I'm so happy for these seniors that they are able to experience that one more time, and to be able to run out of that, you know, out of our locker room to that crowd. I just thought it was really special tonight. So. We'll get ready for Sunday.
All right, if you have a question for the student athletes, raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you and just state your name and affiliation. Over to the right.
Slim Smith from the Commercial Dispatch. T, 8 of 9 from the free throw line. Of all the ways you've improved probably over your 4 years, that may be one area that you've improved the most. Can you talk about what it went into it to you know, bringing that percentage up so high?
Just slowing down when I got the ball, you know, and also Coach Lovato is our free throw coach, so she makes us shoot 50 a day. So I just
make 50.
Make 50 a day, and so I just been knocking them down.
Is that something you're proud of? I mean, is it something that you...
Yes, yeah. It is. You get a free shot, uncontested. You knock it down.
Back right.
And real obviously this got lopsided fairly quickly, you know, and everything. But how important was it to, you know, play those first 6 or 7 minutes good, get off to a good start, and just sort of start things the right way when you guys are trying to make this run in the tournament?
I believe that the first 5, well, we all believe that the first 5 minutes is something that we want to make a statement of, first half and second half. So that's something that we pride ourselves on, and Coach, you know, he talks to us about it all the time. So I think we did that. That's why he's proud of the first and third quarter.
T, where do you think Coach talks about getting better tomorrow? Where do you think this team needs to get better to get deeper into the tournament?
I would say focus on the task. Sometimes we get a little sidetracked and we're not really all dialed in to what practice. And so I think that's what he's talking about. I'm correct. I'm correct.
Bree, got extended minutes, efficient minutes.
That's
had a
the
good
word,
game.
efficient.
Right. Okay. Coach, sometimes you do play different roles depending on the people that are out there. So can you talk about what that is and how you adjust for that?
Sometimes I play the 3 or the 4. I can come in for Jordan and Rio or Andy. And so, I've been working on it in practice. I play the 4 in practice, and then I play the 3. So it's really, he been preparing me for a while for this, so I'm just getting the opportunity to do it now.
T, it looked like it was getting really physical in there, and a couple times you got banged up in there, and they're double covering you, and sometimes you couldn't even get to your spot near the paint. How did that play out for you tonight? Just kind of talk about that physical play a little bit.
It was physical down there, but I know I can't go down and just run anyone over. So, I'm not going to force my way in. They were kind of keeping me in one spot, so I just tried to spin off and get to the other side as quick as I could. You're welcome.
Any more questions for the student athletes?
T, you only have one three-point shot there. Are you getting the ball in that position enough, do you think?
Wait, could you repeat that?
You only have one 3 attempt. Are you just not getting the ball in that spot? Is that what's going on there?
No comment. Can't say nothing. I'm gonna say. Let me be clear. I don't have anything to say.
Great job.
Any more questions for the student athletes? Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. See you guys later. I'll be back with another thing tomorrow. Claiming it.
We'll see you tomorrow for practice.
Have a blessed night, guys. Make sure I get enough rest.
We'll continue with questions for Coach Schaefer.
People think it's
Vic.
easy.
Robbie Falk, we'll start with Daily News and Gene's page 247. Coach had mentioned that, Coach Funchess had mentioned that he was really impressed with how y'all attacked them, came out of the gates and treated them like they were one of the top teams in the country. You didn't really take them for granted. How did you mentioned the first and third quarters, you liked that, but how did you feel like your team came out and how they attacked, like he said?
Yeah, I thought the first quarter was really good. As good and as happy as I was with the first, I was equally disappointed in the second. But again, I probably had more to do with that than anything. I had some different lineups in there, different combinations. This team, Robbie, they've frustrated me as much as any team I've coached because, as I've told y'all a million times, I think they possess the opportunity to be the best team that I've ever coached. But they fight me on it so much, and so it's almost like gave me something to complain about at halftime, I was really pleased with how we jumped out, and again, I put it on the board: respect your opponent, respect the game. Sometimes don't worry about the opponent; worry about how you honor the game and how you play the game. And that's what I was talking about in the pregame with them was. Let's honor the game and respect the game tonight, and I don't care who's out there. Let's go play like we're supposed to play. So I don't think I've sat over there and let bad things happen tonight. I coached them like I always do. I just, we're demanding. We don't apologize for being demanding here, and I think they understand that. And for me, these games now, Clemson's going to be a monster on Sunday. We can't do some of the things we did tonight, with them. We got to be better. So I was very pleased with the first and third quarter. 30 when you scoring 30-something points in a quarter, that's hard to do. So that's pretty good. And 5 points in the third quarter I was really excited about, as you probably can know.
Vic, David Brandt from the AP. I noticed right at the end of the third quarter, Jazz made kind of a good decision. You whipped it around the right side, and Andy hit that three-pointer right at the end. You went out and shook Jasmine's hand. I mean, you talk about coaching effort and everything. Is Jazz one of the ones you don't really have to very much? It seems like she's, if there was anyone that's kind of an extension of you, it's kind of her.
Yep. No, you're right on it. You know, she was dialed in tonight, and I just love how that kid's playing. I mean, she affects our team. I told her when she came to the huddle in the end of the third, I said, you know, when you're dialed in, when you're up on the ball, when you're pushing the ball and trying, it just changes our team. It makes our team a #1 seed, you know, and she's done it all year. She's not had a game where she just wasn't into it, and she's really special. As I've told y'all, I'm so frustrated that she's not on the top point guard in the country list. It makes absolutely no sense to me. She's #1 in the country in assist-to-turnover ratio, which is the first stat that's important with that position. And the other stat for a point guard is the W. And she's now quarterbacking a team that's 31-2. I have no clue what those people are looking for if she ain't on that list, and she's not.
Amber Dodd, hoopfeed.com. Coach, you've gotten a consistent and efficient performances from Amber time after time this season. Can you kind of talk about how she's grown into her role and what you've expected out of her?
Yeah, I'm really pleased with her. You know, she's a tough kid, and that's the kid I recruited. She hadn't always been that way here, but when I recruited her, I really thought she would kind of fill that role that Dominique filled for us. And yet she's got a little bit better shot, maybe. She's a charge taker like Dominique, good help side defender, smart, heady. And so, you know, she's had some nights where she's not been as good as others, but she's had some really good nights like tonight, and you're correct. And so, you know, she's allowed me to, especially when Chloe went down, I got to have another 4-player, and she's kind of the next one in line. Jessica is going to get there, but Bree's got a little bit better handle to play in the dribble drive. And so even though she's undersized there, she's really a big guard. I mean, when she puts those arms up now, she's long. And so I'm really pleased with her again tonight. She had a big game for us, and you're right, she's had some big ones for us this year.
Coach Steve Robertson with Jeans Page 247. You said after the SEC tournament you're not going to coach their heart at this point. This time of year with what's at stake, how big a challenge is that to have to do that?
Yeah, my challenge with them sometimes is in practice coaching their heart, Steve. This team, you know, and I get it, y'all. You know, this time of year nobody wants to practice, but my teams are always getting better in February and March. Well, it's hard to get better if you're not going to work at it in practice, and you're not going to pay attention to detail. You're not going to pay attention to a scouting report. And, you know, I've just never been one. You know, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said, well, we're only going an hour and 15 minutes this time of year. Y'all, I can't get through my fundamental work in an hour and 15 minutes in practice. So I don't know how they do that. And so for us, though, you know, it's like he said, that person I was talking to, he said, well, Vic, whatever you're doing, you don't want to change because y'all are pretty successful. But this team really has challenged me in that area. And so, you know, tomorrow I'm hopeful that they'll come in, and I think they will. I think Clemson will have their full attention, and we'll have a good day tomorrow.
Coach Slim from Columbus again. I don't know, when you break down the film, I'm sure you probably make a note of this, but when kids get on the floor.
Yeah.
And although they didn't play particularly well in the fourth quarter, they were still getting on the floor in the fourth quarter. And maybe, and I'm sure you appreciate that. Can you talk about, is that just the culture of these kids? Because they're still flying around like it's, you know, a tie game.
Well, Slim, that was, if I don't know if you noticed, but one of my kids didn't get on the floor early in the game, and I was really disappointed in that. And I pulled him out. And then that was kind of the focal point of part of my halftime disappointment. It's just embarrassing for me because that is the culture of our program. Playing hard, getting on the floor after loose balls, not bending over, you know, to get – I mean, that's not who we are, and it's not how we've built our fan base. I say it all the time. We wouldn't have 10,000 here if we started out back in 2012 playing 2-3 zone, and we just stood around the zone every night. We're not doing that. And there's people all over the country. They got all these McDonald's All-Americans, and they stand around 2-3, and that's fine. It works for them. But that doesn't work here at Mississippi State, and so that's something that I was disappointed in. With someone during the game, and it was a focal point at halftime. And you know what? That same kid then got on the floor a couple times in the third and fourth quarter. So, and again, that's coaching. You want your kids to play hard. You want them to get on the floor to loose balls, and I do appreciate that. I mean, that goes a long way with me. I can forgive a lot of other heartache when those kids are doing stuff like that. And I thought defensively tonight, even our kids that came off the bench came in and they were denying. I mean, Zion's up there at half court denying, causing a turnover for Maya. That's what we're interested in.
I know you haven't probably done a ton on the scout yet of Clemson, but you know about Amanda's teams and everything. What do you think? I've
done enough. I've been watching film on South Dakota and Clemson, during the week. So I know, number one, I'm very familiar with Amanda. I think I told you I texted her and just congratulated her on, number one, a heck of a year. Number two, on being coach of the year in that league. A lot of good coaches in that league, by the way, and she's coach of the year. And I'm really impressed with just those two guards tonight. Had 49 of their 75 points. It's 2/3 of their points. And I've got a little history with Westbrook. I mean, she's, I've seen her when they were at Florida. So that's a good team. They're well coached. They're going to throw a lot of different looks at us defensively. Jazz is going to have to really be on point. She's going to have to run our team, and then the rest of our team is going to have to know what to do and how to do it when they start doing that. And you start sticking that ball over your head when they're running at you and trapping you, it'll be a turnover, or they'll be laying it in the other way. And so, I just was really impressed with their cohesiveness. I thought they played tremendous together, and I thought their skill set is really outstanding. So, as I told my team tonight, we're going to have to find a couple guards that want to get in the middle of the fray and guard a couple really good guards, on Sunday night, number one. And then, by the way, you better not take your eyes off, a couple of those other kids, because they can beat you too. So. 12's been shooting it really well. She didn't shoot it that well tonight, but she's been shooting it extremely well. And those two bigs can get up and down and run. They're long. So it should be a heck of a game. We're going to have to play, to make it a heck of a game.